Hey there, everybody. So I am coming to you off-site for today's Devo. This is actually in my home. Don't worry, it's nobody else's home. That would be quite weird. It's in my own home. And we have been talking about, or we talked yesterday about being resolute in our New Year's resolutions. And so we're going to conquer a couple different categories as we go through. And by the way, Miss Brittany is in the back getting stuff done. So if you see her pop around or something like that, don't be afraid. She's just here to help me and support me. I think she's making me a sandwich as we speak. Just kidding. Just kidding. But anyways, so we talked about being resolute. We talked about how that means that we're unwavering, we're purposeful, that we are committed to the change that we want to see. We talked about someone dieting can't just continue to eat the same things they've always eaten and say that they've made a New Year's resolution to lose weight. That can't happen because you have to be unwavering. You have to be purposeful in what you do. Well, today we're going to talk about a physical resolution, and I'm not talking about weight. I'm not talking about going to the gym. I'm not talking about running. I'm not talking about any of those things, though I am all for you making those resolutions. What we're going to talk about today is using our body for the glory of God. And what I mean by that is in 1 Corinthians 10, it talks about in verse 31, and it's a famous verse. Verse 31 says, "Therefore, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God." And we use that verse, and it's a good verse. It's one that we use to say, whatever you're doing, do everything to glorify God, and that's great. But the beginning part of this, where he's coming to, is he's been talking about how he has eaten meat sold in the market. And in that day and age, that meat was used to sacrifice to idols, and then it was sold. So people were stumbling over the fact that he was eating meat sacrificed to idols. And so he then refutes that by saying, listen, if I partake with thanks, why am I evil spoken of with the food that I give thanks over? In other words, it's no big deal. I'm not sacrificing it to idols. I'm just eating meat, right? So then he goes on to say, therefore, whether you do eat or drink or you don't partake in it, whatever you do all to the glory of God. But then he goes on to say, give no offense either to the Jews or to the Greeks or to the church of God, just as I also please all men in all things, not seeking my own profit, but the profit of many, that they may be saved. So here's the resolution I want you to make today. My physical resolution for this year is to use everything that God has given me to profit many, that they may be saved. That I may lead people to Christ physically by how I act, what I say, what I do for other people, how I serve people, that my physical body would be a conduit of grace to other people. That is my resolution. And for me to do that, and for you to do that, means that you're going to have to change things. You're going to have to be unwavering. You're going to have to be purposeful and demand more of yourself and to change things for you to keep that resolution. But I encourage you to make a resolution today to say, physically, I am going to be a conduit of grace this next year to profit many, that they may be saved, so that you can do everything to the glory of God. The teen of the day today is Maverick. Pray for him as he enjoys the rest of his break and starts school next week, that he'd have a great start to school and just a great rest of break. All right, you guys, have a good day.